Experts found a time capsule buried by Sam Adams that gives an extraordinary glimpse into the past. On January 6, 2015, an audience of academics, journalists, and politicians looked on in rapt silence as conservators from Boston's Museum of Fine Arts carefully opened up a heavily corroded metal box. "It was like brain surgery, with history looking down on us," Malcolm Rogers, the museum's director, told CNN. Time capsules, which typically contain items such as newspapers, public records, and works of art, are intended to help future generations understand the lives of those who created them. Remarkably, though, the 10-pound metal box opened in Boston in 2015 actually predates that period. In fact, the capsule is the oldest ever uncovered in the United States. In a civic ceremony commemorating the Revolution's 20th anniversary, the capsule, which then consisted of a simple leather pouch, was buried inside a cornerstone of a very famous building, the Massachusetts State House in Boston's Beacon Hill neighborhood. Then in 1855 workmen inadvertently retrieved the pouch and passed it on to city authorities. The items inside were removed, cleaned, and deposited in a much sturdier brass alloy box along with several new objects. The box then remained buried and forgotten until December 11, 2014, when workers repairing water pipes accidentally uncovered it. Actually removing the capsule was a delicate operation, though, and one that lasted 7 hours. At any rate, Hatchfield subsequently opened the box and painstakingly went through its contents at a prestigious event in the museum's American Gallery. Her tools for this delicate task included a porcupine quill and a dental instrument, the latter of which had belonged to her grandfather. Among the first objects to be taken out were a collection of coins from the mid-19th century and 5 newspapers, including editions of the Boston Daily Traveler and the Boston Bee. The newspapers were left folded, however, as it was unclear whether opening the pages would damage them. A collection of much older coins from the 1780s were subsequently discovered, too, with 1 pine tree shilling dating to 1652. The coin in question was minted illegally during the interregnum that followed the reign of King Charles I. Other items in the capsule, meanwhile, included an imprint of the seal of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, the official state emblem assumed by the legislature in 1775, and a copy of colonial records dating to the 17th century. The most impressive item, though, was an intricately engraved silver plate bearing the names of the capsule's creators, Samuel Adams, Paul Revere, and William Scauley. It is likely that the plate was in fact engraved by Paul Revere himself, as he was an accomplished silversmith. This is the stuff that leads us to Sam Adams, to Paul Revere, Michael Como, executive director of the Massachusetts Archive and Commonwealth Museum, explained to The Guardian in January 2015. Born in Boston and educated at Harvard, Samuel Adams was among the founding fathers of the United States. An influential philosopher and political revolutionary, Adams was instrumental in engineering American republicanism. But while Adams is generally regarded as a national hero, he has also been criticized as a former propagandist and instigator of populist violence. Indeed, separating historical fact from popular myth is a complex scholarly process that rarely results in universal agreement. Boston-born Paul Revere, meanwhile, was a silversmith and an industrialist best known for his role as a militia officer in the American Revolution. He contributed to the development of intelligence systems that alerted insurgents to British military activities. This famed ride occurred during the evening of April 18, 1775, after Revere had received word that British troops were heading to Lexington and Concord with the intention of arresting Adams and other insurgent leaders. Revere rode through the night to alert the rebel militias, who then organized and successfully fought off the British. The third creator of the time capsule, William Scauley, is less well known than Adams and Revere. With ancestral roots in the remote Orkney Islands of Scotland, Scollay was a Boston-born real estate developer and a deputy Grand Master in the Masonic Lodge of Massachusetts. Revere was also a deputy, while Adams was a Grand Master. These three men, then, each earned a place in the history books. But the time capsule in which their names were found is important in its own right too. This is more than simply looking at some historical artifacts, trinkets, or curiosities, commented William Galvin, Massachusetts Secretary of the Commonwealth, to The Guardian. If you would like to explore this history for yourself, the items are currently on display in the Boston Museum of Fine Arts underneath the Passage of Delaware, a dramatic 1819 painting by Thomas Sully. So, will the city add extra items before it is reburied? The governor has wisely suggested that we might, Galvin told CNN. So we'll think about it. Indeed, in 2015 another Boston time capsule dating to 1901 was returned to its place with the addition of several letters and an iPhone 5, just one symbol of the technological interconnectedness of early 21st century society.